Well, hello everyone. We are live. Great to have everyone here. Welcome to the FreedomPreneur Show. I hope everyone's having a really super powerful week. And you're really ready to kick off. My goodness, there's only, I think, what is it? 2 more Fridays left until Christmas. 3 Fridays left until Christmas. And if you're celebrating Christmas or just celebrating the change of the new year, there's a lot going on this year. So I want to welcome everyone, of course, to the FreedomPreneur Show. This is a place where entrepreneurs come to learn and grow. You're either a wanderlust, a vagabond, a traveler, a open-minded entrepreneur, family that wants something bigger and better in their life and haven't had the right strategies to get there yet. And or someone that's just really ready to be connected to a community. So I want to welcome you guys here. I've been actually hosting this very show all over the world for the last 8+ years with my family, traveling around the world. We're currently in Bali, Indonesia, sitting here in my little made-up Bali office here, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's rather hot outside. It's summer for us. So all of you that are, getting ready for your Santa hats, it's the only time I'm going to put the Santa hat on, because if I wear it out of my office, I'm going to sweat my butt off. Super hot. But anyways, guys, I've got my Unstoppable Mama shirt on today. Feeling powerful today. And today's show, by the way, all of you guys, please make comments below. Share this video. Everything that we do here in our FreedomPreneur movement with our Unstoppable family, it's all about value. It's about how can we take our minds in between the next level. How can we take what goes on between here, that monkey chatter that happens between these 2 ears, out and start visioning what's super possible. And we want to start really helping other people grow and find what it is possible for their life. So that's what we do here. Total value-based show, by the way. I don't sell anything unless you want to connect and work with us. This is about you getting value and getting you connected. So we're going to be on Super Point today. Share this with those that are just looking for some clarity. But more importantly, those that are wondering what is the difference between someone that has been completely successful and those that struggle. That's the topic of today. How do you look at it? So let's see, all of us we all want something in our life, right? We either grew up as kids and we saw people or other families and kids in your school having so much stuff, right? And then, or those that didn't have anything, right? So I kind of became very obsessed with understanding how people become successful. And I have noticed so many similarities. So I was always wondering, why, how are they so successful and why are they struggling? And I became obsessed with understanding and really figuring it out. See, because back when I grew up, if you guys got my book, by the way, I talk deeply about a bit of my early childhood story, and it only lasted for a very young age, very small age, because my mom got wise, got smart, and kicked, the toxicity out of our life by the time I was 3. And I talk a bit about my story. Brian talks about his story. If you didn't get my book, I'd love to have you guys get it. I should have put a link on this page. Brian will probably put it up later so you guys can get a hold of it. But I go deeply in my story about how, when I was actually growing up, though, after, my young age, we were a middle-class, blue-collar family. My dad was a super hard worker. My father was my biological dad. I call my dad my dad. He's been my dad since I was 5. And he was a fireman. He had a heating and cooling business. So he would work 24 hours, and then he would do heating and cooling jobs. And I just saw his hustle, his work, and his work ethic. My mom stayed at home to raise myself, my brother, and my sister. But I always looked at other kids in my school and that had so many other things, right? There's all these kids that lived in a different neighborhood. We grew up in Detroit. What from Detroit? I got some of that groove inside of me still. I like to throw it down with some old school rap. So if you like some old school rap, we can rap together, because I will definitely do some rapping with you guys. But I would always look around and be like, oh gosh, I wish we had more. We didn't take vacations. We had everything that we needed though. Like my dad always did kind of, talk about we didn't have enough money. But when I really look at it in retrospect, I always had enough. But I remember in my mind, when you're listening to what other people say and what other people's stories are, I used to go, God, I wish I was like that kid. Man, they've got everything. And then I would see like this one kid, Billy, in my class. He literally had old polyester pants. They were short. They were probably his brothers. Really clunky. We called him, he wore clodhoppers. I mean, he had a horrible haircut. He had the funky bangs. And I used to feel really bad for Billy. But then I started to think about it. Is it luck? Like, how do people become successful? Like, is it because of their family upbringing? Is it because they had money? Is it because they had all these opportunities as they grew up? And so I became really obsessed as I started to get older of what makes someone successful. Because see, although I was middle class, I wasn't at the very top and I wasn't at the bottom like Billy was. I was in the middle. And I was like, how? Okay, so yeah, am I gonna be vanilla and average all my life? Not that that's bad, but I wanted to find out, what does it take to get up to this level? And why are there some people that are at this level or some people that are at this level that go down? And why are there people that are at this level and all of a sudden they're up top? Is it luck? Is it the opportunities? Because I don't necessarily believe that, because I started to look around. I'm like, well, wait a minute. There's a lot of wealthy people in this world that are totally unhappy, that are displeased, that are bitter, that are in abusive relationships, that are, that don't appreciate what they have, that grew up with everything they ever could imagine having, but they're still not happy. But then you see other people that have horrible upbringings. They were beaten. They had no money. They had no opportunity, but they're wildly successful. So what makes a person go from being totally struggle to totally successful? Now, I found a few commonalities. That's what we're going to talk about today, because I want you to look at yourself. I want you to think, because I did this to myself all morning here in Bali. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what is it that took myself from being the middle to being at the highest level that I am right now? I am nowhere near the top of any levels. I'm at my peak. I'm at one of my peaks, right? And I'm growing and blowing it up. But what was the difference? It wasn't the money, because I didn't have a huge upbringing of money. I had a great supportive family system. But what is the difference, though, between people that have nothing? I'm not even talking about me now. Look at yourself. What are these people that you see that grew up with nothing, or they grew up with everything, and one's up, one's down, and it's vice versa? If anyone knows what that is, and you guys are on the comment section, just put some, you have to log in to be able to comments, put that down. Write down what you think it is. Why is it that someone can be, what is it that takes someone from being successful, having nothing? And I'm talking about, people that have come from the doldrums, poverty, South African, all the way up to being an American bank owner. How do these people do it? There's one thing I'm going to share with you guys. There's 3 things that I want you to actually write down. I want you to write these 3 things right down, so we're going to cover these. 1 is state. Okay, just write state. 2 is strategy. And 3 is story. Okay, just write those down. State, strategy, and story. So what is it that you think is the difference is between someone that has nothing and someone that has everything, or someone that is just struggling all the time? It's all the time. Everything's a problem. No one's doing things right. They're always screwing me, or bad things keep happening to me. What do you think it is? Why someone's like, everything's working for me. I'm going for it. I got this. Shit might happen, but they get through it. The difference is between all those people, it's not about the resources. It's not about the things that they had growing up. It's the hunger inside. It's the hunger. You guys know who Les Brown is? Give me like a little pump for Les Brown, because Les Brown talks about you got to be hungry. No matter who you are in the world, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be so hungry that you want something so bad that no matter what it is that your situation is in, that you can get through it and make it through. See, this is the difference. People think that what makes them successful or why they can't, like, you know, we talk about entrepreneurialism here. People might be watching us or watching people over going, I can't be like them. I can't be like them because I'm working my ass off. I'm working my job 10 hours a day. I'm barely making the bills. I'm a single mom. Banks are calling me. I can't afford my rent. I got problems. I'm sick. My kid's sick. How many people do you know, could be you, that does this all the time? Now, it probably isn't you guys because you're freedompreneurs and you don't think that way. It's the difference because they're allowing the story that they're in to dictate their state. Okay, so here we go. Story and state. See, it's not the resources that you're missing. It's not the resources. What do you think it is? It's the resourcefulness that you're missing. It's the state that you're in. See, it's not the resources that people think, oh, I need to have all this money. I can't get a loan. I can't figure this out. I can't start a business. I got a job. I got credit card bills. I got kids to pay. See, guys, it's not the resources that you need. It's the resourcefulness that you need to have. See, many of us might believe that we're predestined to have what we are or to have what we have right now. Or they consider it to be the biography of your destiny, right? It's your biography, which is, I grew up in a poor family. I was abused as I grew up. I was, and I'm talking about my story, I'm just talking about in general. I was raped. I was broken into. Somebody stole my stuff. My boss sucks. My car broke down. Bad things keep happening to me. I'm sick. I'm this. And so now here I am as an adult, and I just can't have what you have. I can't travel the world, or I can't start my own business, or I can't have a passion anymore because everything is just tough. Or wasn't even that bad. Everything just has become tough. See, you're living in this biography of your life that is creating, I'm writing them down myself. Here, I'm gonna get my big paper out. You guys know I'm a big paper girl. I'll use this paper, it's easier. State, story, and strategies, okay? There we go. State, story, and strategy. See, your story, our stories can dictate our state. Not the state we live in, but it can. Our story can actually dictate the state you live in because, hell, I don't even think I live in a state. I don't even know, they don't call them states here. We're like I don't even know, actually. I need to get more educated. If you guys know what Bali is considered as, we're in the country of Indonesia. We're in the island of Bali. We're not a state. I'm from the USA, so we talk about states, right? 52 states in our country. But it's the state that your mind is in. See, if you guys know my story and Brian's story, and you'll learn about it in my book, is we were doing really well. We were crushing it in real estate. If you invested in 2007 and 2008, chances are your house is upside down. Might be coming out, but we did. We invested big time. We thought we were crushing it. In fact, we thought we were so awesome. In 05, got our first house, sold that sucker, made $500,000, put it into another $1.4 million home, decided that we wanted to leave in a year and a half because we didn't like the location. Stupid, if we were smart investors, we would know there's capital gains tax under 2 years, especially in the USA. So we left in a year and a half. We had a massive capital gains tax, but we were like, whatever. We're still making $150K. Let's buy a $1.7 million home in San Diego. Let's take all that money, put it into that home, and then let's take the money out of that and let's invest in a huge real estate development. Let's do that. Well, see, if you know our story, we did all that. We were cruising for about 5 years. It was like, not even 5, it was like 3. Like, yeah, no one can stop us. We're unstoppable. We didn't say that at that time. But sure hell enough, what happened? We found out we were losing everything. See, our decisions created the problem. So was it up to us to decide what were we going to do with that decision that we made? We found out we were losing it all. We lost everything. Here we are sitting in a $1.7 million home. I've got a brand new baby who I dedicated my whole why to. That I was never going to put her in daycare, that I was going to continue to be able to be with her. And here I am. I got all this stuff, cars, I got 2 Mercedes and an Escalade. I'm hollow. I just lost everything I've got. I'm devastated. How do you think my state was right then? Think about it. Picture it. Sitting in Hanalei's room on her pink velvet chair, rocking. And I'm looking up at the ceiling, and she's got these cherub angels on the ceiling. And it says abundance, prosperity, trying to create this perfect life for my little baby girl. And guess what happens? I'm sitting there holding her going, if she only knew. If she only knew how horrible of a person I am. We don't have anything. I can't give her anything right now. What state was I in? What story was I buying into at that moment? See, my story at that time was we've been frauded. We took advantage of us. Now we made some dumb decisions, like called the sliding door effect. If you open one door, you make that decision, and different decisions, different doors happen. So you're like, oh no, get me out of that door. I gotta go back. I gotta make a different decision so I can start changing the pattern. See, with a lot of us find ourselves stuck in the story. We walked into that door, and now we're living in the story. And our state at that point is, I can't do it. I don't have enough. I made a bad decision. Or maybe it could be you going, I can't be like you. Things are so horrible. And you're in this, I call it the tornado of chaos. Because your state is in desperation. You're living in a crap story, whether it was what happened to you now, or what happened to you when you grew up, or it might have happened with you as you were growing up, or as an adult, but you're still stuck in that state, and you're stuck in that story. So how do we go from the difference from being someone that's wildly successful, but that it's been jammed in the back of the head, knocked in the back of the knees, effed over, came from the bottom, nothing, no resources, no family support. Why are they successful? Someone that has everything that they've ever wanted. Family gave them everything. They had love, but they had money. They could choose and do anything. And they are rotting inside. They're rotting inside. They feel awful. Why? It's because of what's going on inside of them, what's going on inside of here. It's the state that you're in right now, and it's the story that you're living in and accepting. Think about it. Like, we look at examples of like Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey grew up in extreme poverty. Her grandmother was extremely strict. She was beaten and beaten and beaten. She had been raped 3 times by 3 different people by the time she was 14 years old. But this woman is now one of the highest influential women, the most influential women in the world. She changes lives through her story, but she changed the state of what that story meant to her. She didn't have any resources when she started. She had a story and a state of mind, and she was resourceful. She started sharing what she believed in, started building upon what she wanted. See, people that say, I can't start a business, or I can't have the freedoms, it's because they're stuck in a story, and the state of mind that they're in isn't going to get them out. So how do you cross that barrier? How do we get ourselves from struggle into success? Now, I have the answer, and it's going to seem very simple. Yet, the work that's going to happen behind this, when you realize what this answer is, will completely transform your world. I've seen it happen thousands and thousands of times. I have worked with entrepreneurs for years. I've been one myself, right? 12 years, quit corporate, I had a total corporate mindset. My God, we were all grown up to get a good job, right? That whole statement, insurance, jobs, medical, security, love my parents, but that's all they knew, right? That's all they knew. But I was like, no, I know we're in the middle, but damn it, I can be at the top somehow. I can get there. I've got the hunger inside. How am I going to get there? See, the difference is, and how we can go from right now, the coolest part about life is that you can change it right now. Right now. If you're an asshole or a jerk, guess what? You can decide right now to not be that. Now, clearly, if you've pissed people off or hurt them, you're going to probably lose some friends. But you can change the state that you're in right now. If you want something, you can change the resourcefulness that you have. We're not short of resources, we're short of ideas and resourcefulness. I have seen people do miraculous things in business. I've seen women saying, I don't have anything, I have no money, I have no way to start a business, I've got 2 kids, my husband just left me, come up with $25,000 out of nowhere because they became resourceful, because they believed in what they wanted to get. Now, I'm going to share this with you. Many of you guys may or may not know this. When I actually started my business working on the internet, this is, guys, none of the social media stuff was around. None of the strategies and support. No one knew how to leverage the internet. I just knew, I actually watched a super cheesy commercial talking about making money online. And then I Googled work at home mom. Now, some of you guys have seen this. You might know the story. I Googled work at home mom and I was like, I went to this dumb website. It was actually really bad. It was a big picture of a lady with 3 kids. She said, I used to work 40 hours a week or 80 hours a week. I got 4 kids and I was a waitress. And now I'm making $40K a month. And I was like, bullshit. Because here I am, this corporate executive. I mean, I got the company car. I had the company card. I was cruisy, right? Groomed to be, running the Western division of this pharmaceutical company. That's what I was going to do because that's who I am, right? I'm like, on the internet, this is not real. Really? Click. I go over to the website, see this woman. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to put my information in. Put my information in. Sure enough, she gives me a call, which no one really does that anymore. So if you want another great business tip, it's don't take the human connection out of your business. Don't take the human connection out. You got to insert it back in. I'm going to get back to the story in a minute with this woman when she called me. Because all of us have started to get into this automation stuff. And I love automation, don't get me wrong. But if you know the way that if you've watched the pattern of how we build our business, right, which is teaching people how to build online structures, helping them market their businesses, helping them build brands, giving them a sales funnel that they can leverage while they're building their own company product programs. And there's all this automation. But guess what? How many of you have gotten a physical phone call from us, from my assistant? How many of you get on a live call like this because we want to talk to you live? It's because we've inserted live communication and connection with our clients. That's the difference between all these online marketers like, look at all the money I make. And I'm not judging you guys. I love a lot of you. Believe me, you're my friends. I've worked with a lot of online marketers, network marketers, internet marketers. But damn it, so many of them have taken that human connection now. It's all about the money. It's like, what? Make it rain, right? Yeah, we like to make it rain. I like to have fun with making things rain. But damn it, let's bring the life back and the love back into business. Okay? So here this girl calls me. And I'm like, no way. She called me. This is not real. Well, what I did, I said, okay, you know what? Is this really can be something for me? If it is, I'm gonna look at it. Now, granted, all of you are thinking again, oh, well, you were in such a good position. Just like we thought before, all these rich kids had everything they wanted. They could make and build any business, and we were living well above our means. So although we had corporate jobs, Brian was an engineer, we had all these investments, we were still living above our means. I was still just as poor, if not poorer than Billy was when I went to school, because we were spending, right? Our state was totally a different place. So when I called this woman and she said, yeah, I have this personal development program, I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. She's like, you can sell it online, it's great, or you can sell it to anybody, you can make a profit. I'm like, what? First introduction I had to understanding direct selling, but it was on the internet. I wasn't walking into a doctor's office saying, hey doc, let me educate you on diabetes, which I know that industry is horrible. That's why I got out of it. I realize now I was just doing it for the money. How many of us have done things for the money? See, if we give up what we want tomorrow for the money that we just want today, we blow our legacy. We don't do it for the money. I was doing it for the money. That's all I thought. Get a good job, make some money. And we didn't realize the damage that I was doing to other people's lives. The butterfly effect I was having on other people's lives with my pharmaceutical job, right? So when I go back and I decided, wow, let me get this personal development program that I can actually offer to someone else, this could be cool. So I spent $1,500. Told Brian I spent $1,500 on a personal development program, and I was like, got this thing in the mail, and it was called Beyond Freedom, and it was freaking awesome. Very good friend of mine, Brent Payne, $100 million company. We worked at that company for many, many years because I really believed in it. Now, I spent $1,500 though, got that, it was a booklet. It was really super cheesy. Like I create like super awesome, sexy manuals for all of my people, right? These are my manuals that I give away at all my events. And if you're a freedompreneur, you're gonna be getting a manual in the mail, actually, this big, awesome manual for our mental mindset. I digress, as you guys know, on the show, but it's okay because I'm gonna always get back to the point. And I got this thing and I was like, wow, I was so new entrant to these questions, asking myself, like, what makes the difference between struggle and success? What makes the difference between how someone changes their life just by the mindset they've got? And so I started to grow. Well, then I said, well, heck, if this really can be a business, because I was not making any sales, but I was changing. And they said it's $25K to invest in this and go to these events and do all this stuff. I'm like, what? Who would spend that much money to go to events and do all this? Then I thought about it. I'm like, well, what am I going to get? How am I going to change what's happening in my life right now if I don't do something different? See, Einstein says doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result is what? The definition of insanity. Cuckoo. You're cuckoo if you keep thinking that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, that you're going to get the same result. So I thought, well, what the hell do I have to lose? I'm living well above my means. Brian and I are sleepwalking through the day, or like walking past each other in the morning, going to work every day. Hell, this freaking big dream life that I thought I was creating with corporate turned into the biggest nightmare because I sucked. I didn't like who I was. So I said, well, I have nothing to lose. But see, remember, go back to resourcefulness and resources. I didn't have the resources, to be honest with you. Many of you guys don't have resources to build and start a new business or to invest in yourself. But I had to get resourceful. Didn't tell Brian, called a million credit cards and said, look, I need to extend my credit, right? I'm not telling you guys to do that. I'm just telling you what I went through to become and invest in myself, change the state that I was in to get myself to a new level of state and to get out of the story of we were losing everything, life sucks, right? We can, if we change the state, resources come to us. So I actually didn't even tell Brian I invested $25K in a business. Now, hell, if you think, oh, that's pretty damn cheap, considering I was also looking at franchises, and franchises are $300,000, $350,000, and you maybe make $80,000 a year, and you don't even break even for 5 years. So for me, I was like, heck, that seems pretty cheap if I'm a traditional business owner, right? So I didn't tell Brian, and I was freaking out. Like, think about it. I got resourceful. But damn it, now I made a decision that scared the heck out of me. So now I'm back in a new state. I'm in a new state of excitement. My story's changing because I'm believing now that I'm not going to let any of that stuff get in my way, but now I'm in another state. Oh shit state. The fearful state of what am I doing? What have I done? Now how can I get there? But then I went back to exactly what it was that I needed. Now remember when I had you guys write down state, story, and strategy? So I had a crazy story. I had to get out of it. Many of you guys are living the story, which was conditioning, controlling the state I was in. If we want to change our life, we got to change the story we're in. We got to change the story. Make crazy, bold decisions, but then that changes your state. So I changed my story. I changed my state. I'm all excited. I'm like, what have I done? I've invested in a business. I don't trust these people. Oh my God. So then what had to happen? Now I had to get myself into me. See, so many people, they invest in businesses or they go for it, especially when I see this in the online world a lot. They invest in themselves, they invest in a new business, and all of a sudden now they've done all this, and now they're blaming the person that they either invested in a business in or invested in services. Like our company, we partners with the best social media marketing company that runs social media campaigns for their business. We build their brands and their killer looking websites and their sales funnels. But all of a sudden, now they're blaming you because you're not making any money. So what happens? So now you go from, I'm investing, and now it's that person's fault again. Now we're pointing again, our fingers all point back at ourselves. We forget that the state that we were trying to change put us in a new state now of either fear or blame. So how do we get ourselves out of that? We got to go back and change the state. See, I've not talked about strategies yet. Why is that? See, I can give you all the strategies. You can learn all the strategies of being success. You can study people. You can watch people. You can hire mentors. See, the best strategies in the world can't get you to change your state or your story. And when I see so much happening in business owners and clients that we work with, many times they get stuck in that state, in that story. See, the state that they were trying to change and the story they were in, which is scary, it's not working for me, or maybe my business isn't thriving, then they invest in us or they invest in our company to help us build all those digital assets for them. And then they're like, well, they got all these strategies, but then it's just not working, or you're not providing me with what I wanted, and it's taking too long. Remember, it's your state and your story that can control all of it. It's your involvement in what you want. You want to change the state that you're in, the story that you're in. You got to change that story. Stop living in the old story of, Oprah could have easily lived in her story. I could have easily picked up, my dad is a drug addict father and I suck. I lived and grew up in a middle-class family and I should just be middle class. No, it's the hunger inside of you that makes you want to be a better person, that makes you want to become resourceful, that makes you want to create and develop a different state. See, guys, the coolest part about life is that we've got it all inside of us. And I'm not here to give you a rah-rah. Today isn't even about rah-rah. It's about you identifying if you're in struggle or if you're in success, how are you going to either flip-flop them or how are you going to make them bigger? How are you going to take it to the next level? And it all depends on you. Now, clearly, I will work with anyone that is willing to change their story and change their state. I'll give them all the strategies. Hell, if you know me and you work with me, I work tirelessly to help people. Tirelessly. Give everything I've got all the time. If you are in the right state and you're in the right story. See, it's such a simple combination that we all can get so stuck on. A good strategy can change everything, clearly, right? So I work with people on their branding. We've got several new clients, and we look at their business. They got great stuff. We're like, okay, you got this going on now. You got the killer state. You just need some help, right? You need to look at a strategy that's going to get everything pre-planned. I call the branding strategy to look at. What do I do now? Get people excited about what I'm going to offer them. So we all need to have this, what I call the runway to the money strategy. And those strategies are powerful when you take focus and say, okay, every day I'm going to do this in my business. Every day I'm going to do this. I'm going to either market or I'm going to hire someone, right? And we got lots of people that, there's so many that are become the masters of, or the world's, what do they call it? The jack of all trades and the masters of none. And I know because I was that person. So I started to realize, okay, let's start start outsourcing in the right place. Let's partner with the right, marketing company. And I had to do that. I had to partner with the best marketers so that I could actually focus on what I wanted to do, which was live my life free and to be with my daughter every day. So then I got a marketer, and I started to do the things that I was good at. And now our company structures together for brand new people that have never worked on the internet. And we also work with business owners that just need leverage, that need help, that need marketing done for them. So when you look at what your strategy needs to be, you find your runway to the money, and then we just start taking action. You let the other people do the right things to help you, the experts work. But if you're allowing other people to help you build your business, but your state sucks, guess what? We can't run your business for you. We can't make you successful. We can give you all the traffic, all the best branded assets, great sexy looking images, and film great videos for you and help you create a great blog and a website. But if you are inside between here, living in that story of either when you grew up or what's going on now or what people haven't done for you, then guess what? You're going to be stuck there forever. And you're going to be what Einstein says, turning yourself to insanity. So today, let's look at what is the strategy. Is this making sense to you guys? You guys follow me? Hopefully you guys are hearing me because I haven't even checked. I kind of feel like I'm on a crazy wild roll for the last 45 minutes. Give me some love if you guys are feeling it. If this is making some sense to you guys. Because it's about understanding our state, defining the story that we're living in right now, and getting the right strategy. That's all it is. Strategies, we can build those all day long. But if you're in the right state and you're living in the right story, not the right, like this is you're right or wrong, like the story that makes you powerful. See, because if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and you go back to state, you're saying, you suck, you're fat, you're overweight, no one likes you. What do you think's going on? Yeah, you might be overweight. But if you love yourself, it's not because you grew up and your biology and what your parents did to you made you fat. It's what you're doing. It's decisions you're making, right? I know that sounds bold. Same thing with business. Are you investing properly? Are you investing in yourself? Are you taking little baby steps, and then you're complaining? Are you a business owner that feels like, damn it, I'm stuck? And some of you guys might be doing all the right things, but you just don't have the right people. You haven't found the right people to guide you or the right company to help market for you. Found someone to go, hey, all right, let's take a look at your business. You want to launch a product in December 30th? Okay. Today is the 9th, I think. Right? That means you got about 20 days. Let's get ourselves a strategy. All right, so you got to get awareness. If you're not using social media, guys, you're blowing it. But I mean using social media with purpose. Use your personal page for your personal stuff, but make sure that it aligns with your values of your business page. That your business page, you market from it, that's what it's for. It represents your values, your vision, your story. Connect with people, my gosh. Everyone wants to sell something. But man, if you want to keep customers for life, you got to get them into your story. You got to get them into why you're doing what you're doing, your mission. I love branding. So I look at people, I'm like, okay, you might have this great product to sell on December 30th, but why are you doing it? How are you going to get people into wanting to buy from you or to work with you or to work with your company? You need to know that you care, right? If you're just selling widgets, fine. Widgets don't really matter. I have a drink of my jamu, by the way. The sponsor of the day is In the Raw here in Bali. Raw cold pressed juices. I wish they would start giving me free ones for putting them on my show. Right? It's the new story that we're creating for ourselves. Like, where are we going to take it? So I just totally digress. Here's our strategy, right? What are we going to do every day in social media that stays congruent with our brand, shares our mission, and gets in front of people's faces? Now, many of you guys are using Facebook and you're using Facebook Live. Do that. You may have a Facebook group. Use it, because that's where you invite people to learn and be with you and huddle. I've got several groups that I'm in and I run. My main one, if you're in the Kickstarter group, woo-hoo, welcome to the FreedomPreneur Kickstarter. This is your fresh start to like opening your mind. If you're in the business in a box group, high freaking five, because you've totally stepped into your state of power investment. You might be in fear. We'll talk about fear in a second before I go, because it's a lot of new stuff. And if you're in my Freedompreneur Tribe group, I love you. I don't even, some of you guys have never bought a dime, anything from me. We're just here to learn and leverage each other. And that's why we're here today. So congrats to you for being here, sharing this, being part of this environment and the state of understanding and a new way of thinking and a new way of connecting with each other. But if you're not using social media properly, guys, you're going to get yourself stuck, because some of you may be doing little things here and there sporadically, but you're not sharing your mission and your values, right? So if you're using Facebook groups, awesome, have a group. But now you want to look at what is the best strategy that I can do that connects to my audience. Now, for the first 3 weeks before your product launch, you want to make sure that you are building the audience of idea, of thought, of seeding, I like to call it. You're planting seeds of what's coming, but you're still educated, right? So when you're in a marketing plan for launching things, you're getting your audience ready. You're not just selling. You're actually educating them. And this is actually a really great example. I had a client, and they're doing this really killer event, but they were just selling the event. See, you sell the event way back here. The strategy starts way in front. It's what you've been doing for this audience all along. It's why this audience is following you. So I find people that get started in any type of business, and unless there's enough awareness, know, like, and trust, then you lose. You're wondering why they're not buying from you. So you have to ask yourself a few questions before you actually even start the sale process. Is there a need in the marketplace, right? Is there a need? Do they want it? Does the market want it, right? And is it solving a problem that market has? So you have to ask yourself that. Is it solving a problem? Do they need it? So then after you say, yeah, there is, then you have to build know, like, and trust. Those three things, know, like, and trust. So how do you might be able to solve the need and the problem with your sale over here on the December 30th, but then how do you build the know, like, and trust that day? You really don't. It's about your reputation that you're building. It's the brand that you've been building. It's the story that you've been telling on social media, on your blogs, in your reputation, in your communities. It's the value that you've been giving all along to your list, if you have a mailing list, to your physical audience, if you're a physical business. It's what you're doing in front that develops that know, like, and trust before you can sell on December 30th. So it's taking a strategy that allows your audience to grow. Now, a lot of people do free marketing, and free marketing is awesome. Instagram, you can do some great stuff on Instagram. You can do tons of stuff on Twitter. You can do lots of marketing. I tell you, the one strategy that we use is Facebook ads, very laser beam targeted marketing. Probably going, darn it, thought she's going to say that. Because there's a reason why all of you have seen me over and over and over again. You've probably seen our Freedompreneur video. You might have seen our Freedompreneur Academy video. You might see my Bocas del Toro story. You might see our family story video. Why? Because we know how to target you. And see, when you actually understand and know how to find the right people, you spend less. So the strategy is not only building know, like, and trust along, but it's also getting in front of the right audience. It's doing that. So yeah, inside of our academy, we teach some Facebook marketing. It's great stuff. But what I found is that when I really needed and wanted to grow and scale my business, I really needed to know how to find the right people, how to get in front of them so that your product or your service is in front of them. That know, like, and trust is building all along because they're seeing your ads, they're seeing your videos, they're seeing your posts, you're sending them blog posts, you're giving them constant value. But how do they do that if you're not investing in marketing, right? So investing in marketing is a very powerful strategy for you to build with your audience and then get in front of more people. When someone doesn't understand the value of investment into marketing, I'm like, it's not going to work. Yeah, we can build great brands and we can constantly put out lots of value, but unless we're getting in front of the right people and understanding how to do that, we get lost. So now we've got a killer strategy, right? It's that know, like, and trust strategy so that you know that they're solving a problem. You know that there is a need. So how do we get them to that point that you make them sell? And that's where building a killer strategy comes from. But if we're not believing it in our stories, saying it's not going to work, or I'm not good enough, and we keep telling our story, then our state is going to be in the same space and we'll never use the strategies. You get it? So we got to put, I just did a Facebook Live the other day about so many people put the cart before the horse. They keep selling stuff first and then the horse is in the back. You got to put the workhorse in the front. You got to build that know, like, and trust in the front so that you can receive the values in the back end. Is this making sense today? So I know that we're getting at the top of the hour, and I always like to close at the very top of the hour. But I wanted to use this example, go to fear really quick for those of you who are still listening, if you're listening to the recording. See, you might already be investing in yourself or in your businesses. And I have found there's times where I've done some stuff and I'm like, oh no, did I do the right thing? And what happens is when we pull back the reins, pull back when we're scared, we actually crash and burn even harder because our state blows up because we allow fear and then we're twisting, right? We're in that state of constant thing. So then you start building a new story. And what happens is strategies don't work. So for instance, like how many of you guys are maybe surfers, snowboarders? I use sports as a great example because it's something you have to really go for in order to really get it. Like I love snowboarding. Brian and I love surfing. I was a big surfer back in the day. I kind of lost my love for it. But just for instance, like for Brian, when he's surfing on the top of a huge wave, and he loves big waves, 20-some foot, he's in a state of like, right now, I got to make a decision. Am I going for it or am I pulling back? See, because the moment that you decide to start going for a big, huge wave, then you're like, I allow fear to get in my way. And then you pull back, what happens? It's called going over the falls and it sucks. The wave takes you crashing down and all of a sudden now you're in a tornado under the water. And I call it the rag doll. You're under the water and you're going to feel like you're going to drown. How many of us have felt that like in business? You start going for something and you're like, and you're paddling. And it's an example of a surfer. They're paddling as deep as they can because the wave is coming at you. And then you go, oh no, I'm not. Well, it's too late. You've already started going for it. See, that's what momentum is. It's taking the force of momentum and believing sometimes we just got to let it go. We got to believe in ourselves. Get out of that old story that I can't be successful or that people are going to screw me or that stuff is just too hard. See, because that's the wave. The wave is that old story pattern coming back at you. And when you pull back, what happens? You go back down to struggle. But when you feel the wave and the rush and you feel the fear, you just say, I'm going to believe it. I got to let it go. And it's going to work out. And you got the strategies, though. I'm not telling you to go in not being a surfer and going to big waves. I'm telling you either have the strategy in place, have a great mentor or a great foundation in place with people that are doing marketing for you or helping you build your business, right? Let that wave go forward. Let the story go and go, okay, I got this. And all of a sudden, you're paddling in, you're standing on this wave, and you're like, whoa. That's what Swan would do. He loves me with these examples. Same thing with snowboarding. Damn, snowboarding is super scary. I've gotten to the edge of a cliff, and I'm like, I can't do it. And all of a sudden, I start going, and then I start on the edge, trying to slow myself down. What happens? You fall so hard, and you are destroyed. But what happens when you are on the edge? You let it go. You lean back a bit on your board. You feel the powder underneath you, and you know that it's going to be steep, but you just trust, and it's going to be steep. Entrepreneurialism isn't. Woo! It's, oh my God, it's hard. It gets tough. When you just feel the ride, you're like, and then it's going to, the steep hill, that steep section isn't forever. But when you pull back and you're afraid, and you get into your own old programming, you stop. You go right back down to struggle and you wipe out. So today the message, guys, is how do we go from struggle to success and vice versa? It's nothing to do with our upbringing. It's nothing to do with our biography. It's everything to do with the hunger inside of you. You taking just complete action, having a great story, belief, changing your state, and getting a great strategy. If you don't have the hunger inside, none of this is going to matter. You don't want it. You can be as rich as you want, rich as anything, and never get it. If you don't want it, you can still stay as a homeless person and never get out. There's a reason why there are homeless people that come out. It's not because they had the resources. It's because they had the resourcefulness and they had the belief and they just kept going. So it doesn't mean that you're going to be jumping quantum leaps, because we're all at a different level. I work with, our business in a box group. And we're like, here you go. Guys, here's a business in a box. We built a sales funnel for you. We have a marketing campaign you can be part of. Here's a great ebook. Let me build this beautiful blog and brand for you. Let's teach you how to do great video. Let's get you some marketing going for you. Join the academy. You got all of it. You're like, it doesn't work. Well, but then why is some people all of a sudden things are working for them? It's not because they're doing anything different. It's because their state is different. They all got the same resources. You've got the same resources that everyone else, resourcefulness that everyone else has. So how you're thinking about it. So how you're working towards the next step. It's how you're looking at your strategy. It's using the strategy that you have for the level that you're at right now. And being so grateful and proud of other people at the level that they're at. Giving them, do you realize you can change your state just by being excited for someone else's success? Yeah, go figure. You can change your state just based on being happy for someone else. Taking action every day, writing down your DMO. I write down my daily method of operation. Even today, you want to check this out. You'll see my big paper started already this morning. I was preparing for you guys. This little set here, I have to plan and film for the rest of my new product that I'm launching, by the way, on January 8th, but pre-sale is up until December 18th. It's half off. I'm not trying to sell you that. I'm just trying to tell you I have how to create a program in 48 hours. Well, I already filmed it, but I got to refilm. I got new stuff that I want to add in. So I want to make it so freaking awesome that people go, oh, you only charge me this for this? This is amazing. And I got golden hour from 11 to 2. Holy shit. Oh, sorry. It's 11. My golden hour started. It's time for me to go. Write down your golden hour. Get yourself planned. Understand your strategy. No, take time every day. Block out what your golden hour is. Block out the time that you do your meditation and your mental strategy. Block out the time that you're with your family, because Lord knows we all have to do it. I just started creating office hours. Clients don't love it, but they're going to deal with it because they're going to love themselves when they create their own boundaries in office hours, right? Change your story. Change your state. Find a good strategy or someone to work with. Start building at the level that you're in. Invest in the right people, invest in the right stuff, but know that when you invested, it was the right thing. Whether it fails or not, or it sucks or not, Lord knows, the bad investments we made, lost millions, it's the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It's my state. It's how I think about what happens. It's how you think about what's going on right now for you and how you want to change it. So stay part of this conversation. If you're in our FreedomPreneur tribe, you could be unstoppable in there together today to talk, share your states, share it on Facebook. This is nothing about any of my glory. I don't need to take any of it. I just want to inspire you guys to get in a good state. If you're in our other groups, talk in there. And if I can help you, let me, because we actually have a really cool competition I'm part of. And on this page, you guys should see it. There's a button there. It says the greatest entrepreneurial giveaway of 2016. And there's no joke. We are really, literally giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars of free retreats, information, coaching. Heck, I'm giving away a $10,000 seat in my Bali mastermind event. And if you don't believe me, ask Starwin Tonkin. She won a $10,000 event here in Bali, Indonesia, and she lives in Mauritius. She got it all, right? I do that. We do that. People that care do that. So go join, register for this giveaway. Guys, it'll blow you away. And it's totally free. It's doing nothing to me. What it's doing, it's allowing me to give away free stuff, inspire more people. 20 other top change makers. John Abbott, he was a powerful life coach and a business strategist, put this thing together just to give. And these people are giving away their products and their programs, giving them away to you, literally giving them away. So go and register for it. It's not going to hurt you. They will pick the winners of each category and each person, and then they become your client. They come work with you. So some of you guys might win to work with me or work at our event, be part of our academy. Just another way for exposure. So it's all only benefits you. Share with other people because they'll win too. If you have teams, if you're on other companies, share it because they're not going to be sold a company. By the way, that's one thing I learned in network marketing. God, I'm so glad I'm kind of disfranchised from it. Everyone's afraid to share stuff. They're afraid someone's going to take their person. That's a horrible way to work. That's a horrible way to live, right? Build something you're passionate about. Live with passion in your mind and your heart and your body. Give more than you take. Find a problem that your niche has. Find out if they need it. Solve that problem and build, know, like, and trust. And then launch it. Live in a story that makes you feel amazing. It makes you feel like what you're doing every day is so worth it. Have a why. Know why you're doing it. Put your state out of chaos and freak out state into yes state. And then get a strategy. I do this every day. People that are, we now have a big team. We've got our programmers downstairs, some of our developers downstairs. Our assistant Victoria comes over. We got our sales guys. Like, it's kind of crazy. Ensemble Family is building this big, team, a company, because we decided to change what we were doing. And I'll do this. I'm like, I just get myself all unstoppable, and I shake off any bad stuff. Shake off my state. Shake off your state. Like, literally, poof. You can shake it off. It's so cool doing that. To remind me of Mel Fry, who came to our event, and she helped everyone give each other energy, because everyone came up and they spoke their story and they were speaking what they believed in, what their branded mission was. And Mel's like, let's do something cool. Let's give them all this energy. 1, 2, 3, and we would push this energy out at everyone. Thank you for that, Mel, if you're watching. I was like, yeah, because you not only get rid of it, because you got to physically do it, right? Or you give somebody great energy. Like, I was told when I grew up with my dad that, man, you live your life and you're in somebody's movie. You better be damn well a good person in their movie. I want to be the best in your movie. Thank you for letting me be a character in your movie. It's past 11 o'clock. I got golden hour to start, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you join the giveaway. It'll be super great for you to do, and you guys will just only benefit. Get my book if you want it. I'd be super eternally grateful, and leave a review because it's so exciting to see, good or bad. If you can say it's a 1. UnstoppableMama, MOMMA.com/unstoppable. That'll just get it directly there. Get it on Amazon. Give it to some people for their gifts. Tell you what, it's a powerful story. I've lived it. I've given and put my heart and soul in there, and I've given you tons of strategies. I give you tons of my free stuff in there too. But live a great unstoppable day. If you're on the edge, you're getting ready to drop into that wave, when you're on the edge of the cliff, making a decision on whether you're going to invest in a new business or move or travel the world or hire someone to do work for you, just know you got to look at it. If you're already in there, make a good decision and go. Believe. Allow the state to change. Live in the story that it's going to work. And if it doesn't, guess what? That's part of the story, right? So keep going. Fail forward fast. I don't want to keep using these cliches, but damn it, they're rolling today. Anyways, guys, thanks for being here. Have a great one. I love you. And as always, be unstoppable. It is the 8th today. It's my favorite day.